Hello student, welcome to EPG Pathshala. Today we are studying about the electromagnetic radiations. First is electromagnetic spectrum. Electromagnetic radiations are transverse waves traveling with the speed of light in vacuum, that is 3 to 10 to the power 8 meter per second. For an electromagnetic radiation, the electric and magnetic field vary sinusoidally, both being perpendicular to each other and to the direction of progression of wave. Electromagnetic radiations travel at the velocity of light. The distance from one wave peak to the next is wavelength, and the number of peaks passing a fixed point in space per unit time is the wave frequency. From basic physics, waves obey the general equation, that is C equal to V lambda. Since C is essentially a constant, both frequency and wavelength can be used to characterize a wave and have an inverse relation with each other. In remote sensing, it is most common to categorize electromagnetic radiations are characterized by their wavelength location in the electromagnetic spectrum. The commonly used unit to measure wavelength is micrometer. Generally, when we talk about electromagnetic radiations, we commonly refer to them as light or simply radiations. However, this light is the visible radiations which our eyes can perceive and comprise of a small portion of the electromagnetic spectrum. The other form of radiation include gamma radiations, X-rays, ultraviolet, infrared and microwave radiations besides TV and radio waves. Further, it is to be understood that these radiations do not have a clear-cut demarcating line among them and follow a continuum from gamma rays to TV and radio waves. In terms of wavelength, frequency and energy, this continuum is known as electromagnetic spectrum. Second is type of electromagnetic spectrum. Number one, gamma rays. Gamma rays are high frequency and high energy waves with a wavelength shorter than 0.1 angstrom. Gamma rays are used in radiotherapy to kill cancer cells, to sterilize medical instruments and kill harmful microorganisms in industry. Second is X-rays. X-rays are also very high frequency waves with a wavelength range of 0.01 to 10 nanometer. They are useful in medicine for medical diagnosis and in industry for correcting flaws of welded metal joint. Third is ultraviolet radiation. Ultraviolet energy adjoins the blue end of the visible portion of the spectrum with a wavelength range of 10 nanometer to 400 nanometer. It was first discovered by a German scientist, John Wilhelm Ritter, in 1801 and lies between X-rays and visible light in electromagnetic spectrum. Ultraviolet region is subdivided into near ultraviolet, that is UVA, which have 0.32 to 0.40 micrometer. For ultraviolet, that is UVB, 0.28 to 0.32 micrometer, and extreme ultraviolet less than 0.28 micrometer. Ultraviolet light is used in sterilizing microbial contamination in medical domain, hardening dental filling in biochemistry and pharmaceuticals industry. Further, since UV light is easily scattered by the atmosphere, it is not used for remote sensing purposes. Fourth is visible radiations. Visible light lies in the range of 4.4 to 0.7 micrometer, corresponding to spectral sensitivity of human eye. The color blue is ascribed to range of 0.4 to 0.5 micrometer, green to 0.5 to 0.6 micrometer, and red to 0.6 to 0.7 micrometer. White light is made up of various wavelengths in visible regions ranging from violet to red, that is the colors of the rainbow. Visible light finds application in photography. Fifth is infrared radiations. Adjoining the red end of visible region are three different categories of infrared waves, that is near IR from 0.7 to 1.3 micrometer, mid IR from 0.13 to 3 micrometer, and thermal IR beyond 3 to 14 micrometer. Infrared waves are released as heat by longer wavelength. Infrared waves and are used for remote controls for television. In shorter wavelength, infrared rays beside healing sport injuries by physiotherapists and for weather forecasting by infrared satellite data. 6 is microwaves. Microwaves range from wavelengths of 1 millimeter to 1 meter. They are used in cooking, mobile phones, radar, aircraft, and weather forecasting. Microwaves are useful in communication because they can penetrate clouds, smoke, and light rain. 7th is radio waves. These waves have the longest wavelengths and the lowest frequency among all the radiations of electromagnetic spectrum. They are divided into the following based on wavelength range. First one is long wave. These have wavelength of about 1 to 2 kilometers. Second is the medium wave. These waves have wavelength of approximately 100 meter to 3 meter. Third one is the very high frequency waves. These waves are characterized by wavelength of about 2 meter and find application in communication. Fourth is ultra high frequency waves. These waves have wavelengths of less than a meter and are used mainly for communications such as police radio, military, aircraft, and television transmissions. Out of these radiations of electromagnetic spectrum, the remote sensing system operate in one or several of the visible, infrared, or microwave portion of the spectrum. Gamma rays, X-rays, and ultraviolet rays cannot be used in remote sensing due to being high energy waves, while TV and radio waves have very low energy, hence it would be difficult to record the signals received by these waves. Third is principles of radiations. Electromagnetic radiations exhibit both wave and particle nature. The following laws define the properties of electromagnetic radiation that have been dealt below. First one is Planck's law. This law is based on particle nature of radiation and states that electromagnetic radiation is composed of many discrete units called quanta. Both the wave and particle nature related to each other, the energy of radiation is inversely proportional to its wavelength. The longer the wavelength involved, the lower its energy content. This has important implications in remote sensing since long wavelength radiation such as microwave emission from terrain features are difficult to sense the radiation of shorter wavelength such as emitted thermal IR energy. This implies that to obtain a detectable energy signal, a sensor must view large area of the earth at given time. Second one is the Stephens-Boltzmann law. All matter at temperatures above absolute zero, that is minus 273 degrees Celsius, continuously emits the electromagnetic radiation. The amount of energy radiated by an object is a function of its surface temperature. This property is expressed by the Stephens-Boltzmann law, which states that m is equal to St⁴, where m is total radiant excitance from the surface of a material in watts per meter square second. Stephens-Boltzmann constant that is 5.6697 into 10 to power minus 8 watt per meter square Kelvin. T is equal to absolute temperature in Kelvin of the emitted material. Thus, the total energy emitted from an object increases rapidly with increase in temperature. This law generally holds for an energy source that behaves as a black body, a hypothetical ideal radiator that totally absorbs and re-emits all energy incident upon it. Third one is Wien's displacement law. Spectral distribution of the emitted energy varies with temperature. It is to be noted that the Earth's ambient temperature is about 300 Kelvin, that is 27 degrees Celsius. Therefore, the maximum spectral radiant excitance from Earth features occurs at a wavelength of about 9.7 micrometer, which falls in thermal infrared region of spectrum. Comparatively, the spectral radiant excitance from Sun occurs at about 0.5 micrometer, falling in visible portion of the spectrum. This is why sunlight can be sensed by human eye or photographic system, while the radiation from the Earth can be perceived as heat or by a non-photographic sensing system. Fourth one is the energy interactions in the atmosphere. All radiations, whether from active or passive source, which is detected by remote sensor, passes through some distance or path length of the atmosphere. During this travel, the radiations interact with the atmosphere and undergo the process of reflection, absorption or scattering. In remote sensing, the mechanism of atmospheric scattering and absorption play an important role. First one is the scattering. Atmospheric scattering is the unpredictable diffusion of radiation by particles in the atmosphere. Based on the size of the particle and the wavelength, there are three types of scattering. That is, first one is the Rayleigh scattering, second one is the Mie scattering, and third one is the non-selective scattering. First one is the Rayleigh scattering. It occurs when atmospheric particles' diameters are much smaller than the wavelength of the radiation. It is common high in atmosphere. Scattering intensity is proportional to lambda की power -4. Radiation with shorter wavelength is easier to be scattered by the mechanism. Therefore, there is much stronger tendency for short wavelengths to be scattered by mechanism than long wavelength. It is primarily caused due to oxygen and nitrogen molecules. An example of Rayleigh scatter is the blue color of sky. In the absence of scatter, the sky would appear black, but as sunlight interacts with the Earth's atmosphere, it scatters the shorter blue wavelengths more dominantly than the other visible wavelengths. Consequently, we see a blue sky at sunrise and sunset. However, the sun's rays travel through a longer atmospheric path length than during midday. With the longer path, the scatter of short wavelength is so complete that we see only the less scattered longer wavelengths of orange and red. Rayleigh scatter is one of the primary causes of haze in imagery. Visually, haze diminishes the crispness or contrast of the image. Second one is the Mie scattering. Mie scattering occurs when the diameter of atmospheric particles equals the wavelength of the energy being sensed. This is caused by water vapor and dust and influences long wavelengths compared to Rayleigh scatter. Mie scatters is significant in a lightly overcast ones. Third one is the non-selective scattering. Non-selective scattering occurs when the diameters of the particles are much larger than the wavelengths of the energy being sensed. Such scattering is caused by water droplets, ice crystals, volcanic ash, smoke. These particles generally have a diameter in the range 5 to 100 micrometer and scatter all visible and near to mid-IR wavelengths about equally. Consequently, this scattering is non-selective with respect to the wavelength. In the visible wavelengths, equal quantities of blue, green, and red light are scattered, hence fog and clouds appear white. Second one is the absorption. Atmospheric absorption results in the effective loss of energy to atmospheric constituents. This is normally caused by water vapor, carbon dioxide, and ozone. The wavelength range in which the atmosphere is particularly transmissive of energy are referred to as atmospheric windows. For example, the spectral sensitivity of the eye coincide with the visible region. Thermal scanners correspond to 3 to 5 micrometer and 8 to 14 micrometer of wavelength. Multispectral scanners sense simultaneously through multiple wavelength range from visible to thermal spectral region. Passive microwave systems operate through a window in the region 1 millimeter to 1 meter. In remote sensing, it becomes essential to consider the following criterion. First one is the spectral sensitivity of the sensors available. Second one is the presence of absence of the atmospheric windows in the spectral range in which one wishes to sense. Third one is the source, magnitude, and spectral composition of the energy available in the range. Last, we conclude an electromagnetic radiation can be described its amplitude, wavelength, frequency, and time period. These electromagnetic radiations are transverse waves having both particle and wave nature. By the Planck's law, we know that the frequency of a light wave is proportional to its energy. This has implications of remote sensing studies since higher energy waves such as X-rays and UV light get scattered sooner, while low energy waves such as microwave and radio wave would require much higher aerial coverage to obtain a detectable energy signal. Further, in this module, we have also studied the various principles pertaining to electromagnetic radiations besides studying the mechanism of scattering and absorption, two essential factors for design of remote sensor. Thank you.